Okay, I want to talk about how thinking deeply is a superpower. So, I shared a video recently that talked about how feeling deeply is a superpower. And that video touched on the power of listening to our emotions and the deep wisdom in our body and intuition, and often the emotion beneath our emotion, which illuminates a lot about our self-worth and our self-value. So, go check that out. But in this video, I want to talk about how thinking is a superpower. Now, perhaps it's best understood by the adage, work smarter, not harder. But how do we do that? How do we truly work smarter? And how do we learn from real innovators like Jobs and Musk and the trillionaires who seem to be shifting the world with their innovative leadership and thinking? Meanwhile, we're over here still selling our hourly services or our price per product piece. So the first way that thinking is a superpower is thinking well helps you transcend brute force. Now, it always surprises me in a hustle culture, particularly in the business world and very much online, a real kind of attitude towards action. Do. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Massive action. Get off your butt and do things. I understand in context where beginners are contemplating starting a business, what you need to do is get off your couch and get into action. You need to overcome your perfectionism. You need to overcome your fear and just do something. Something is better than nothing. The world is a huge matrix of infinite possibilities to be had and to be curated by us if only we went out there and did something with that. Once we're off our butt and we're doing, how do we work smarter and not harder? So Abraham Lincoln had a great quote about this. He wrote, "If I was to chop down a tree in an hour, I would spend 45 minutes sharpening my axe." And this is a beautiful example of the power of preparation and thinking deeply to massively overcome the need for brute force to achieve an outcome. So, pausing on Abraham Lincoln, he was a trained lawyer. And if we look at leaders and royalty from past ages, they always invested in their education. And not just their education, they invested in studies around classics, philosophy, theology, the arts. There's real virtue in pausing and thinking, why do the elite of history invest a lot of time in training themselves how to think and see the world? They spend their time preparing their mind to not only see the world, but to think in the best possible way by learning from the best possible minds of history and sharpening their axe against the greatest thinkers of all time. In doing so, they not only transcend the need for brute force to achieve an outcome, they're also able to transcend simplistic, binary, cliche, or shallow thinking. So this is particularly relevant to us in our information age. There is a huge amount of information that we have access to, but we tend to just move information around. We're sharing the same information, we're repeating the same herd news. We're very good at processing information quickly, particularly with the use of AI now. But are we good at questioning the information that we have, thinking deeply and digesting it to come up with some new and innovative thinking? So this comes to the third way that thinking deeply is a superpower. This is about the ability to think from first principles, and that means being able to question received thinking and go all the way back to the root, to the first reason or the root thought or the deepest value present. So if you listen to people like Jobs or Musk, they're very, very impatient with received thinking. They're very, very impatient with cliches or shallow binary opinions. They also stir up a lot of dissent and they create a lot of conflict with anyone who says, but it's just not possible or it's just not done that way, because they're so good at thinking, but why? But why is it not done? Why is it impossible? Or why not? Is it possible? And how do we think deeper and deeper and deeper and get to the deepest value here? Once they're down at the deepest value, they're then able to rebuild and build some true innovation and some truly amazing solutions in the world. And this is why they're trillionaires, right? So thinking deeply is in fact a superpower. It's why the elite, the royalty, the leaders of our history have always invested in their ability to think. Firstly, thinking deeply helps us transcend brute force and to create elegant solutions. Secondly, thinking deeply helps us go deeper than binary or shallow or cliched thought. And being able to question, particularly received knowledge, received thinking, helps us to dig deeper into the why, and get right down to the deepest kernel of value. And when we are able to get down to first principles, then we can really build elegant solutions and really change the world. So learn to think deeply. It's a superpower.